Flying the colors.
We love you, Ben!
Take an arrow, Ben!
I'm here with Ben Frederick on day one of Northampton Cyclocross. Ben, exciting race out there today, totally wild, 8
Yes.
riders going into the sprint. You looked like you were really driving it for a good portion of it. Talk to me about your race.
Well, it's kind of my home race. I was having so much fun. Found myself in the whole shot, led the first lap, and basically going into the finish, there was 8 of us, and I didn't want to have someone that I hadn't seen all race just all of a sudden come out of nowhere. And so I thought my best shot was just give her and see what happened.
And you did. So,
Yeah.
Some decisions in your gear today. Last weekend you showed up on a single speed at Really Rad. On gears today, which
Yeah.
may have been a good choice heading into the sprint, what prompted that decision?
I was spinning out even just in my pre-ride on like 3 spots on the course, and so it ended up being very smart, even though it would have been more fun on the single speed. A lot of attacks happened when it was flat and when it was fast. But yeah, I was happy with the gears, happy with the bikes. The Ritchie bikes were awesome. Yeah, it's wild to be back on the UCI podium. I can't believe it.
All right, I am here on day one of Northampton Cyclocross with our second place elite men's finisher, Nick Lando. Nick, talk to us a little bit about the race today. It was a crazy one out there with a big group dynamic and a bunch sprint, a lot of unusual things going on. So tell me how it played out.
Yeah, it was an interesting mix of riders in that lead group. No one was really strong enough to just go off the front and like open up a huge gap like we've seen in the past. So you had to play it very tactically. I was putting in a couple test attacks, and so was other people, and I was just kind of observing like where gaps would open up, where people were coming back, and basically figured out like it was going to come down to like a sprint starting from the end of the barriers. So it's all about getting out of those quickly and getting on the gas as much as possible, and then just kind of committing and diving into the turns and taking a few chances.
Okay, so it came down to from the barriers on in that really long, drawn-out sprint with this big group. How did you play it in the sprint?
I sat third wheel. Ben Frederick was on the gas for that whole last lap, so I figured he was going to be pretty smoked, and I knew, like, obviously Tobin's a guy to watch, so I tried to stay on his wheel, and it ended up Ben Frederick pulling off in the last turn, trying to carry as much speed on the outside, and Tobin and I dived inside and sprinted, and he just had a little bit more pep than I did, but I'm happy with it.
Awesome. Well, congrats on a great finish today, and
Thank
we'll
you.
see you tomorrow.
Thanks.
I'm here with day one elite men's winner Tobin Ortenblad. Tobin, it was a wild one out there with a huge pack finish, which is unusual in a cyclocross race. Talk to me a little bit about the dynamics and what was going on out there today.
Yeah, definitely stayed together quite a bit. The course is super wide and a lot of grass and fast stuff. So yeah, it really wouldn't stretch out too much except for in the upper kind of rooty rocky spots. Yeah, and it was a little bit windy, so it definitely was kind of just a packed tactical race today.
And down to the end there, you guys looked like you shed a few people down in that final lap, but it was still coming in with about 5 guys. How did the sprint play out, and what was your tactic and positioning coming into that?
I knew going on the last lap, I didn't want to be anything further back than like 3rd place the whole time, and Ben Frederick seemed pretty content to give it full gas from like basically the end, like the whole last lap. Ben went for it. So. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty content to stay there, and he's a good rider, and you can trust him in the corner. So, yeah, pretty much just stayed there, and then coming into it's a big straightaway and do a big U-turn into the finish. So it was basically a race for the corner. So I just made sure I was into the corner first, and yeah, it was a short sprint after that.
Definitely a short, exciting sprint. And tell me a little bit about your season so far and coming into this race. You were kind of hunting for this win for a little while.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, a little slower start to the year than I was hoping for. And I think finally fitness is catching up after maybe some like a little overexertion in August, which is feels good. So yeah, I kind of opted to stay out east and race this instead of going to Pan Ams. Pan Ams would have been super fun, but I think, you know, being realistic for my fitnesses right now, I probably wasn't going to be a contender to win. Hate to say that, but yeah, I mean, it feels good to come out here and get some points and just, I guess, call it a slump buster. And form's going the right direction for nationals.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like slumps busted. So congratulations on the win, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Ladies and gentlemen, here they come into the final 2 turns of the race. 5 riders. He's going to take the sprint and throw it out. Julia is right by the rock. It's Tobin. Pouring on blast. Number 3 in the 2nd spot. Yeah. 607. Cornat from Santa Cruz Donkey Labor Racing. Tobin, what a race out there.
Take this ceremonial bite once you get to the love. That's right. Very nice.